Put the hip shit on the shelf, cause the way the real wealth is being real myself. My life can see the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf, cause the way the real wealth is being real myself. My life can see the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help.
There's nothing wrong with being wealthy. Like Kanye West says, having money is not everything, not having it is. Deuteronomy 8:18 that God gives us the ability to create wealth. No, it's the love of money that's the wrong. You don't like money so much, why you get up and go to work? Yes, I do. I'm just trying to leave a legacy for money. It's not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. Now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health mentor to the wealthy class, Mr. H Cortez.
Good morning, Black World, and welcome to Talking Money in the Morning Live with your main man, H Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the Black community, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur, where I do my absolute best to bring practical yet proven wealth building strategies to working men and women all over this great nation of ours. It is truly an honor, privilege, and a blessing to come to you live and direct from the Black Billionaires Club studios here in St. Louis, Missouri. Presenters of the Generational Wealth Building Conference going down in Atlanta, GA, April 6th through the 8th. Man, if you are serious about building generational wealth and you are anywhere remotely close to Atlanta, GA, April 6th through the 8th, you absolutely have to be in the building. Thomas T.J. Lofton is going to be in the building. Evan E.R.G.J. Jefferson is going to be in the building. A wonderful host of speakers, entrepreneurs, wealth strategists, wealth creators, business builders. They got something for everybody. For the kids, they got a youth wealth building summit. For the women, they got a women empowerment summit. Got a young lady who came all the way from the land of poverty and welfare to now being a millionaire. So you want to be in the building. And if you're serious about partnerships, building conglomerates, enterprises with people who are looking to understand how to transform our communities for the better, then there's no better place for you to be than Atlanta, GA, April 6th through the 8th. If you want more information, you want all the details, the addresses, the locations where everything is going to be taking place, you need to go to wealth.joincorteznow.com. Again, that's wealth.joincorteznow.com. Grab your tickets. You can get a weekend pass, or you can just buy tickets for the individual event that you want to attend, but you got to show up. It's one of our problems, man. We like to talk about the things that we need, and then when we put things that we need in place, people don't show up. You got to show up, y'all. Show up for this one. I promise you will not be dissatisfied. Do me a huge favor. If you're checking us out on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We are going to hit 2,000 subscribers in by the end of this month, man. So you got to hit the subscribe button in order for us to do that. So let me pull up the YouTube account and let's see where we are right now. We are at 1,844 subscribers. So 56 subscribers to go. So if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button. What's up, Rasan? Also on YouTube, don't be afraid to interact with the show. Let me know where you're from and the name of the business or brand that you are building, and then rate the show. Give it a thumbs up, thumbs down. Don't make no never mind. Just rate the show. Give me your feedback. Let me know what you think, how everything is coming through over there on YouTube. And my Facebook family, do the exact same thing. Go ahead and hit the share button. If you have not already, you guys know that is the price of admission for Talking Money in the Morning Live, is to share this stream with other people on your timeline and let us help them start their day with some positive information, some information that could potentially change their lives for the better for years to come. So hit the share button. Also, if you have not liked the Financial Health Mentor page, I know you guys come here every morning, but like the page and then make sure that you turn on notifications, because I do midday motivations. I do wealth workshops in the middle of the day sometimes. So lunch and learns and all of that kind of stuff. So you want to stay tuned into the Financial Health Mentor page. by hitting the like button and turning on the subscriptions. Today's show is also brought to you by the Black Wealth Movement, man. If you need a coach and a mentor, and the name of the game for you is to build generational wealth, I want to help you. If you need a coach and a mentor, and you're trying to build generational wealth, I want to help you. Not only will I coach and mentor you, but we also have a system and a game plan and the tools and the resources that you absolutely need to build wealth. One of those tools that you need to build wealth is a business. Why? Because the tax system is the #1 wealth building tool in the planet. But you can only access the tax system to build wealth if you are a landowner, if you are an investor, or if you're a business owner. Most people don't have the money right now to become landowners. Most people don't have the money right now to start investing, but you do have at least $70 that you can pull out of one of your paychecks and start your own business in the financial education space. You get me as a coach and a mentor, as well as my multi-million-dollar mentors who are going to be in Brooklyn, New York tomorrow. If you're in Brooklyn tomorrow, inbox me and let me shoot you over the flyer, and you can go and meet my multi-million-dollar mentors and see what this thing is all about, and make a decision to join us, and we'll get you rocking and rolling. That's Brooklyn, New York tomorrow. I'll get you the address. All you got to do is inbox me, and my man Ivy Stokes, Bless Ellis, and the rest of the crew will be there live and in living color. I think the times are 5:30 to 7:30. So you can't beat that, BK. If you want to build wealth, let us show you how, especially in New York, man, where y'all one of the most highly taxed groups of people on the planet. Let us show you how to cut them taxes down, take that tax savings, use it to eliminate debt, and then you will magically free up the money that you need to start investing. There's no other way to do it, man. So if you in the Brooklyn area, you know anybody in the Brooklyn area, share this video with them and inbox me so I can get you that flyer and the details on that. So yesterday we started out. Let me do this, man, because it's been a while since I let people know exactly who the show is for. Man, this show is for risers and grinders only, man. If you're ready to get up, get out, and get something, then this is your show. This show is for legacy builders. If you're ready to build a legacy for you and your family, then yes, we want to help you do that. It's what we do each and every morning. However, who is the show not for? The show is not for the pessimist. The show is not for the bump on the law. The show is not for that person who thinks money is evil, capitalism is a dirty word. They think wealthy people are jerks. If that is you, we have to ask you politely to exit stream stage left, right? We are optimistic people here, and we only see the great and the good that's coming in our future. So you've got to understand how thoughts affect your life. And we're going to talk about that today. And like I tell you each and every morning, man, if you've never seen a future billionaire before, then I want you to take a screenshot, and watch your boy work, because it's going down by 2027. Mark my words, man. And then I'm going to be able to come back and show this video in 2027 and say, this ain't nothing new, man. I saw this coming 10 years ago. See, what are you prophesizing about your life? What are you seeing and saying about your future? Just wondering. So we are starting a study on this book here, Why Not You? How to Be Rich. Compact wisdom from the world's greatest wealth builders, including Napoleon Hill, Joseph Murphy, Wallace D. Wattles, and Robert Collier, right? So it's a good little read, man. If you don't have this, then you guys know the best way to buy your books is what? Go get you a free membership or a free subscription to the Cashback Mall. That way, everything that you spend on, some of that money comes back into your household. So just go to cashbackmall.financialhealthmentor.com, set up your free Cashback Mall, and then you can buy your books from one of the bookstores there, and you can earn some cash back when you do that. But yesterday, I'll do a quick recap. We were on those things that were the negative, right? When you have certain negative thoughts, how do they manifest into your circumstances, right? And then today, we're going to spend most of the day talking about the positive thought life and what kind of circumstances Do positive thoughts manifest? And again, if you're just jumping on, go ahead and hit the share button. I don't think a lot of y'all have paid y'all price of admission, man. You guys know I can see when you hit share. It tells me right across the top of the screen that somebody has shared. So hit the share button, man, and let's get other people caught up to speed on how to change their thought life and the benefits thereof. Playing with us this morning. Do I have my Wi-Fi on? Let me just make sure. Yes, Wi-Fi is on. No plan this morning. Let us radically alter our thoughts, and we will be astonished at the rapid transformation it will affect in the material conditions of our lives. We may imagine that thought can be kept secret, but it cannot. It rapidly crystallizes into habit, and habit solidifies into circumstances. Bestial thoughts crystallize into habits of drunkenness and sensuality, which solidify into circumstances of destitution and disease. You want to know where people are dealing with destitution and disease? They have bestial thoughts habitually. We're not talking about the random thoughts that pop up in your head and you quickly control those and you put them out and you replace them with a new thought, a positive thought. We're talking about your habitual thought life. Bestial thoughts crystallize into habits of drunkenness and sensuality, which solidify into circumstances of destitution and disease. Number two, impure thoughts of every kind crystallize into enervating and confusing habits, and they solidify into distracting and adverse circumstances. Lloyd, what's going on? Coakley's BBQ in the building. Mona Johnson, Johnson Family Legacy in the building. Appreciate you guys for tuning in this morning. So if you see people living distracted and adverse circumstances, then you know the cause of that is impure habitual thoughts, right? Those people who have habitual impure thoughts, their circumstances that solidify out of those things are distracting and adverse circumstances, right? Confusing habits is what comes out of that. Number three, thoughts of fear, doubt, and indecision crystallize into weak, soft, and irresolute habits, which solidify into circumstances of failure, indigence, and slavish dependency. Failure, indigence, and slavish dependency. When you see these circumstances in someone's life, you understand that their habitual thought life is filled with fear, doubt, and indecision. So as a person who loves to help people, Brandon, good morning. As a person who loves to help people, now I can look at these circumstances and say, you know what? This person probably has a fearful habitual thought life. They struggle with doubt. They struggle with indecision. So let me help try to address that in order to get them to a better place financially, a better place spiritually, a better place emotionally. Lazy thoughts crystallize into habits of unseemliness and dishonesty, which solidify into circumstances of disgust and beggary, right? So when you see someone who have dishonest habits, that comes from lazy thoughts. Think about it. The lazy person is always trying to take the shortcuts. Sometimes those shortcuts are illegal. Sometimes those shortcuts cause you to do things immoral, cause you to do things that are dishonest. Why? Because you're trying to take a shortcut. You're lazy in your thought life, your habitual thought life, right? Hateful and condemnatory thoughts crystallize into habits of accusation and violence. We know people who have those sorts of habits in their life. They solidify into circumstances of injury and persecution. You know, somebody living that kind of life, living in those circumstances right now, then it's because they have a hateful and condemnatory habitual thought life. Only way to get those people to change is to get them to change that habitual thought life. Selfish thoughts of all kinds crystallize into habits of self-seeking, which solidify into circumstances more or less distressing. You know, somebody living in a life, in a circumstances of distress, selfish people are usually living in distress, because those are the circumstances that are solidifying because of that habitual thought life. They're self-seeking, right? And you come into this life very dependent. Then you establish independence, right? Some of us establish codependence, but where we should be elevating in our maturity is interdependence, right? I don't need you to do certain things, but I want to do certain things with you and around you and through you and because of you. Interdependence is the gold standard, right? Because now you're choosing to depend on others, not because you have to, but it's by choice. You should be seeking interdependence. So now we're going to get into the flip side or the positive side of these things, man. But before we do, I've got a quote of the day, man, that I want to read to you. Got a quote of the day. Since we were talking about thought lives, when I saw this quote, I was like, man, I got to share this. I got to share this. Today's quote of the day: time wasted rationalizing the mediocre could be time spent manifesting the magnificent. I'm gonna read it one more time because I gotta get that. Time wasted rationalizing the mediocre could be time spent manifesting the magnificent. You ever find yourself doing that? Talking about why things ain't right, why things aren't the way that they should be in your life, and you start making what sounds like to you some very solid excuses, reasons as to why they aren't the way they should be. Anybody ever do that? See, that time you're spending trying to come up with rationalizations to justify where you are and where you are not. You're spending that time doing that. That is time that you could be using to create the magnificent. Right? You guys agree? Time wasted rationalizing the mediocre could be time spent manifesting the magnificent. I feel like that was meant for me this morning. We all do that, elegance. We all do that. We you know what, man, my business would have exploded a long time ago, but I got these kids. I got to get ready. My son is graduating. My other son is graduating college. I got one graduating in high school. Oh, man, you know what? I would have started my business long ago, but my kids in elementary school, they need me up at the school all the time, so I don't have time to. Man, that's where we find ourselves, rationalizing the mediocre. The other thing that we tend to do is we look around and we see ourselves just edging out head and shoulders above the people around us. And we're saying, okay, I'm not where I want to be, but I got a little bit more than so-and-so over here, or I'm doing a little bit better than my sister over here. I'm doing a little bit better than my brother over here. I'm doing better than my coworkers over here. But let me ask you something. What if all of those people that you're edging out, that you're doing just a little bit better, what if all of those people are below average? Huh? See, we like to compare ourselves to people who are below average in the first place. And it helps us feel better about being average and mediocre. I like to compare myself to other 43-year-olds. You know, me and Mark Zuckerberg are about the same age. Me and the rapper Nas, we're about the same age. And he invested in the doorbell company and just made $40 million on top of a successful rap career, right? I look at people who are around my age, not the people that are around my circumstances. And I say, what are the most successful 43-year-old, 44, 45-year-old people doing? Right? You got to compare yourself to the great and not the mediocre and below average. So today's quote of the day was brought to you by my girl Tara, Paper Girl Whitney, and I want you to go to paperrouteapparel.com. She's got some great positive affirmation t-shirts. Paperrouteapparel.com. www.paperrouteapparel.com. To grab some of those t-shirts. I've got to go ahead and order mine. I like one she's got that says always deliver, always deliver, always deliver. And that's something that I try to live by. I try to always deliver. Anything that I do, anything that I put my hands on, I try to always deliver. And when I saw that, I said, Paper Girl, I got to get that one. All right. So paperrouteapparel.com is today's sponsor of the quote of the day. All right. So now let's get back to these things, how our thoughts manifest. If you're just jumping on, do me a favor, hit the share button, y'all. Are y'all ashamed of your boy? I think some of y'all are ashamed of your boy because y'all don't share the stream on your timeline, right? That tells me that you don't believe that I'm going to bring some value. That tells me that you don't deliver. The website is, let me go ahead and type it in the chat because I do have my Facebook open, so I can type it in the chat real quick. The website is paperrouteapparel.com. 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 She's got some cool stuff out there, man. So if you're into positive affirmation type t-shirts, good quality stuff, she always delivers, not just in her other businesses that we're partnered with, but also in her paper route as well, and hers. Don, I appreciate that. He says, hell no. So if you're not ashamed of your boy, hit the share button, man, and share me with your timeline. But let's get into real quick the positive side. So we did the negative side, right? Some of the negative things that bestial thoughts will solidify into circumstances of destruction and disease. Impure thoughts solidify into distracting and adverse circumstances. Thoughts of fear, doubt, and indecision will create circumstances of failure, indigence, and slavish dependency. Lazy thoughts will create disgust and beggary. Hateful and condemnatory thoughts will create injury and persecution in your circumstances. Selfish thoughts solidify into distressing circumstances. Now, on the other hand, beautiful thoughts of all kinds crystallize into habits of grace and kindness. See, you look at someone's habits, and this gives you an indication or an inside look into their thought life, because their thought life are manifesting their habits, and their habits are creating their circumstance. Thoughts, beautiful thoughts crystallize into habits of grace and kindness, and they solidify into genial and sunny circumstances. See, you ever see somebody who's just bubbly all the flipping time? Now, we know life happens to people and there's something going on that ain't right with this person's life. But every time you see them, they're just jovial. They're just happy. They're just smiling and grinning for no reason, seems like. Well, here's why. Because their habitual thought life is stuck on beautiful thoughts. They always see the positive in every situation, the silver lining in every storm. So the circumstances that are being created from a thought life, a habitual thought life like that, and the habits that come out of beautiful thoughts is sunny circumstances, genial circumstances. It's just kind of the circumstances they're creating with their thought life. I know a lot of people like that. It's like, man, you just always happy all the time. Really? Have happy thoughts all the time. Pure thoughts crystallize into habits of temperance and self-control, which solidify into circumstances of repose and peace. Pure thoughts crystallize into habits of temperance and self-control. So when you see somebody exercising those habits, and this is important because there's three types of beliefs that affect our lives. There's three types of beliefs that affect our lives. There's what you believe about yourself affects your life profoundly. What other people believe about you also has an effect on your life. And then what you think other people believe about you also affects your life. But I want you to start looking at the lives of the people who you think have a certain thought about you. Look at their circumstances and look at their habits. Because when you see somebody with a sunny countenance, a sunny set of circumstances, you might think they're thinking negative about you, but they can't, because if they were thinking negative about you, then their circumstances would reflect a negative habitual thought pattern and process, right? So people who think pure thoughts, they have circumstances of repose and peace. They just a peaceful lifestyle. There's no drama around these people. So when you see people that don't have drama all in their lives, it's almost impossible to believe that they're thinking negative thoughts about you. Because people who have those kinds of thoughts, that manifest in their circumstances, right? This is good stuff, man. I don't know if y'all agree, but I'm learning something today. You guys know that this show is all about me anyway, right? I'm just teaching myself, and you guys just get to listen on some of the stuff that I teach myself, right? If you're just jumping on, go ahead and hit the share button. Let us know where you're from and the name of the business or brand that you're building as well. So pure thoughts crystallize into habits of temperance and self-control, which solidify into circumstances of repose and peace, right? What about thoughts of courage, self-reliance, and decision, right? We saw what the opposite of that, fear, doubt, and indecision, we saw that crystallizes into weak, soft, and irresolute habits and solidifies into failure, indigence, and slavish dependence. But when you have a habitual thought life full of courage, self-reliance, and the ability to make a decision, right? They crystallize into strong habits which solidify into circumstances of success, plenty, and freedom. So what am I telling you? If you don't have success, if you don't have abundance, If you don't have freedom in your life, then you need to change your habitual thought process. I'm talking about those thoughts, those things that you meditate on, that conversation that you have with yourself. That's what I mean by your habitual thought life. We all are writing a script to the movie that is our lives, and we are the star. Well, you are the director, and you have conversations with the actor every day. What is that conversation like? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it one of strength and courage, or is it one of doubt, indecision, and fear? Because it determines what plays out in your life in terms of your habits, and your habits will manifest the circumstances that you currently live in. Thoughts of courage, self-reliance, and decision crystallize into strong habits, which solidify into circumstances of success, plenty, and freedom. So now you have insight into the thought life of those who you see who are successful, those who are living and walking in abundance, and those have any semblance of freedom in their lives. They have thoughts of courage and self-reliance. These are the things that they meditate on. These are the conversations that they have to themselves. Is all about what they can do to better themselves. It's all about having courage to step out on faith and go after their dreams and goals. This is why they're winning, people. If you're not winning, chances are you don't have thoughts of courage, self-reliance, and you are afraid to make decisions. That could be why, right? Because what does the word decision mean? It means to cut away. Most of us are refusing to cut away certain stuff. Incision means to cut in. Decision means to cut away. If you're going to be successful, there's some things that you have to cut away. You don't want to cut away certain things. That's why you don't make decisions. Oh, man, this is good stuff, man. I'm having a good conversation with myself today. You guys agree? Some of us aren't making decisions today because we know that if we make that solid decision, it requires that we have to cut some things away. And some of the things that are required to be cut away, they have become pacifiers to us. That's why we're not winning, because we're constantly being pacified by certain things. Certain people pacify us. Certain circumstances pacify us. Certain places that we go pacify us and allow us to rationalize the BS that we're doing every day to remain in our current situation. Energetic thoughts crystallize into habits of cleanliness and industry, which solidify into circumstances of pleasantness. Energetic thoughts crystallize into habits of cleanliness and industry, which solidify into circumstances of pleasantness, right? You guys didn't see the show that I did last year on enthusiasm, right? Success loves speed, and success also loves enthusiasm. You don't know any successful people who do not move throughout life in a very energetic and enthusiastic way. You can't drag yourself through life and expect to succeed. You cannot drag yourself through life and expect yourself to have any sustained level of success. My wife says, she's usually in the back when I'm doing the show. She said every now and then she has to come out here or want to come out here and say, why are you hollering at these people? It's like, I'm not hollering. I'm just fired up, man. I'm just fired up about life, about where I'm going, about my vision, about what I see for the H Cortez of tomorrow and beyond. She said, you be up there hollering at them people in the morning. I don't be hollering, man. I'm just fired up, man. I'm just excited. I'm just enthusiastic about where I'm going. And I'm hoping that that becomes contagious for you guys. I'm hoping that you guys can catch this fire, man, because there's nothing like it. When you get jacked up about life, when you start living in your future every day, you cannot come back from your future and not be totally fired up, man. Unless the future that you see for yourself is one of poverty and lack. It's the only way you can drag yourself through life. I can't go and see and sit down and have lunch with the Cortez of 2027 and then come back to this life in the present and not be fired up, man. You got to get fired up about life. Success loves speed. Success loves enthusiasm. What's up, David? Ink and T-shirts and more, LLC in the house. You've got to be fired up about life, man. And one of the things one of the reasons you require a vision, one of the reasons that you have to be able to live in your future a little bit is because when I go to my future, it causes me to take my eyes off my present circumstances. Some of you guys are living in your past and you living in past failures, and that's all you see. That's why you're dragging yourself through life. So you guys are in your current circumstances, but when you learn how to go and visit the future and see the greatness that God has in store for you, see the greatness that's manifesting from the decisions and the choices that you make, you can't come back from the future and not be fired up. And when you start living a fired up life, you start attracting people who are also fired up. And you put two people who are fired up in a room, they get stuff done. You put two people in a room that's fired up, they're going to get some stuff done. So one of the reasons you're not getting and moving as fast as you can, you're not fired up. Therefore, you're not attracting people to you who are also fired up. And that's part of the problem. You're not fired up, so you don't attract people to you who are fired up. You guys ever seen two flames come together and how that thing multiplies? That's what you need in your life. You need to become a flame and you start attracting other flames. And when two flames come together, that thing might be jumping this high by itself. But when that other flame comes in and touches it, man, that thing multiplies. Got to get fired up about your life, y'all. Energetic thoughts crystallize into habits of cleanliness and industry, which solidify into circumstances of pleasantness. Gentle and forgiving thoughts crystallize into habits of gentleness, which solidify into protective and perservative circumstances. I've never seen that word before or heard anyone say it. Perservative. So, in other words, circumstances of perseverance. Right? You ever see people who just get knocked down, man, and they just refuse to stay down? We all know people like this. It's like, man, life just seems to keep dealing them blow after blow after blow. Every time you turn around, they're on their butt. But then when you turn back around, they're on their feet. You know why? Because they have a habitual thought life of gentle and forgiving. And when you have a gentle and forgiving thought life, life can knock you down, but you're not only going to want to protect others, but you're going to be protective, and you're going to have you're going to live in circumstances where you constantly persevere. You're just going to be a persevere. You're just going to constantly persevere, right? That makes me think of my 5 P's of prosperity. One of them is perseverance. One of them is perseverance. She said, put that word in the comments. Yeah, that is a crazy little word, but it is perservative. And I'm assuming that is a derivative of persevere. Persevative. Persevative. Right? But we all know people who are constantly knocked down, but then you look around and they're on their feet again. You're like, man, wow, how? Because their thought life is forgiving and gentle. And as a result, they have the resolve to keep persevering. See, persistence is when you run into obstacles and you don't let that deter you. Perseverance is when you run into those obstacles and they kick your tail and they knock you down, they knock you back. Do you have it in you to get up? Do you have it in you to stand to your feet when sometimes that's all you can do is stand? Bible says sometimes that's all you gotta do is stand. Just get up, get to your feet. Because if you can do that, then you're ready for the next step and you can take a step forward. Some of us we get knocked down and then we start feeling sorry for ourselves and we stay down. Some of us get knocked down and the thing that knocked us down is standing over us and intimidating us, and we stay down in a fetal position. Oh man, you knocked me down today, but guess what? I'm gonna get up and you're gonna have to knock me down tomorrow too. And I'm gonna get up and you're gonna have to knock me down the next day. That reminds me, you guys remember that episode of Good Times? You guys remember the episode of Good Times when JJ was really trying to take his art career to the next level. So he was going somewhere and I can't remember if he was going to get taught and mentored or if he was going to teach somebody else. He was making a few dollars. And he came back and James was like, "You're not doing that no more." And JJ was like, "Yes, I am, Dad." And James was like, "All right, if you do it again, I'm gonna beat your tail." And JJ was like, "Well, you're just gonna beat my tail, but I'm going back." And he's like, "Well, if you go back, I'm gonna beat your tail again." He said, "Well, I'm gonna keep going back. You're gonna keep beating my tail until one of us gives out." Are you willing to pursue your dreams, goals, and aspirations until you give out? Something has got to give. Either I'm going to give out or my dreams and goals going to give out and they going to flow into my life. Something has got to give. Right? JJ said, "We just going to keep going at it. You're going to keep beating my tail and I'm going to keep going after my dreams until one of us gives out. But right now, I can't see myself giving out, Dad." I'm willing to take these whoopings to pursue my dreams and goals. Some of you guys have to stand up to some people in your life, just like JJ did. Stand up to his dad. That couldn't have been easy. Could not have been easy for JJ. It's not going to be easy for you. That person that's holding you back in your life, that you respect, that you love, that you admire, that has helped you get to where you are so far, but now they're holding you back. You have to stand up to that person. Say, look, it's time for me to elevate. It's time for me to elevate. And you holding me back. See, I'm going to keep going back till one of us gives out. One of my all-time favorite scenes in any sitcom, man. That was very powerful stuff. I look for stuff like that, man. That kind of stuff tears me up all the time. But I love it. Some of you guys got to stand up to some of the people in your life that's holding you back. And some of those people respect you. I mean, some of those people you have a great deal of respect for. But they're misguiding you in your pursuit of your dreams and goals because they're holding you back. And sometimes they're holding you back because they think they're helping you. They think they're saving you from heartache and pain. But nothing grows without the rain, y'all. Nothing grows without the rain. So you're going to have to experience that heartache and pain. So while they're trying to protect you and keep you from that heartache and pain, they're keeping you from the necessary growth that has to happen. And this book is Why Not You? How to Be Rich, courtesy of my man ERGJ in the Black Bazaar bookstore. He blessed me with this last time I was in Atlanta, and it's a great read, man. I've been checking it out. So we're talking about how certain thoughts manifest into habits and circumstances. And we got to fly through these last couple because it is 7:54. I got off on a tangent a little bit. I apologize. So energetic thoughts, man, you got to be enthusiastic about life. Gentle and forgiving thoughts. Loving and unselfish thoughts crystallize into habits of self-forgetfulness for others. I think that's a fancy way of saying selfless, right? You become selfless, which solidify into circumstances of sure and abiding prosperity and true riches. When you have constant and consistent, okay, Mona got the definition for preservative. Uh-oh, wait a minute. A substance used to preserve foodstuff, acting to preserve something. All right, so yeah, preserve. I said perseverance, but preserve. Okay, good. Oh, crap. Almost ended the stream, y'all. My bad. Okay, appreciate that, Mona. So a lifestyle of one that's going to be preserved. So that's good stuff. That's good stuff. I said persevere, but it says it's more about preserving, acting to preserve something, right? Good deal. So a loving and unselfish thoughts crystallize into habits of self-forgetfulness for others, which solidify into circumstances of sure and abiding prosperity and true riches. True riches. You want true riches? Then meditate on loving and unselfish thoughts. Make that part of your habitual thought life. Loving and unselfish thoughts create true circumstances of true riches, abiding prosperity, or lasting prosperity, prosperity that is not fleeting. It's not I'm up today and I'm down tomorrow. No, I'm consistently up because I have true riches. That is richness in your relationships, richness in your spiritual health, your emotional health, your physical health, richness in your community support, richness in true riches. When you have loving and meditate on loving and unselfish thoughts, when you become selfless, they create habits of selflessness, not selfishness, selflessness. When you can have self-forgetfulness for others, that means when you're working with others, you forget about you and it becomes all about them. Helping them get to the next level, helping them elevate. When that becomes your habit, you create circumstances of abiding prosperity, lasting prosperity, and true riches. And yes, guys, true riches does include money, does include financial riches and wealth. I want y'all to get that, man, because some people think that true riches ends with friendship, relationships, love, peace, and kindness. No, it also includes monetary resources in abundance. Some of y'all can't even say the word rich, and you wonder why you're not attracting any riches to you. Some of you can't even say your name and the word wealth in the same sentence. Matter of fact, do me a favor. Let's break that chain right now. Everybody put in the chat, I, your name, am wealthy. I, H Cortez, am wealthy. So many people can't even put wealth, riches, and their name in the same sentence. It's ridiculous how we've been trained to hate money, to hate prosperity. But then when we go to bed at night, that's all we dream about. Is a life where we don't have to struggle. Put your name, I, H Cortez, am wealthy. It's funny, man. So many people have this twisted reality when it comes to money. And when we see everybody else around us building lasting wealth because they have a right relationship with money. Money does not money does not become your God, but you do have to focus on money. Why? Because you get what you focus on. When you do not have money, you tend to focus on poverty, and you get what you focus on. You focus on lack, so that's what you keep calling into your life. Keep telling y'all, man, all the universe knows how to do is say yes. Man, I'm always broke. The universe says, yes, you are. And it reveals to you, it shows you things in your life to validate that which you already believe, so you continue to believe it. That's how this thing works. You say, uh-oh, I got some domains that's about to expire. Gotta go check on that. You say, man, my marriage is falling apart. And the universe says, yes, it sure is. Then it shows you something to validate that which you already believe, so that you continue to believe it. Because if you keep saying that, obviously that's what you want to happen. So the universe wants to grant your every wish. Some of y'all don't understand the power of the tongue. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? I understand them fully. India Ari said it best. The words that come out of your mouth, you're the first to hear. What does that mean? The words that come out of your mouth, you're the first to hear. So you can't condemn somebody else without condemning yourself first. You can't speak a curse over somebody else's life without cursing your life first. You can't speak negative about anybody else without speaking negative about yourself first. That person is a jerk. Man, you a jerk. Who a jerk? You a jerk. Who a jerk? I heard that before I addressed that to somebody else. So I'm basically calling myself a jerk. You guys get it? This is serious stuff, man. All the universe knows how to do is say yes. So give it what you really want it to say yes to. Now, the way this really works, though, is when you are speaking your affirmations over your life, the only way you activate the subconscious mind with affirmations is when they are emotion filled. So you can't write your affirmations down and read them in a very mundane way. Well, today I'm going to be great. I'm going to be a billionaire. I'm going to win. I am a winner. I am a go-getter. Got to read those things and speak those things with emotion. It is the emotion-filled affirmations, the emotion-filled conversations that you have with yourself that activate the subconscious mind and bend the will of the universe in your favor. When you say that you are great, and that's how you say it, the subconscious mind said, you don't believe that, so I'm not going to do anything. But when you say you are great, you're blessed beyond measure, everything I put my hands to is a whopping success. I don't know how to fail. I am a go-getter above all other go-getters. I am the truth. When it comes to what I do, nobody can do it better. And the universe says yes, yes, and yes. Absolutely. You are sure right. And then it's going to show me something later today to reinforce the belief that I already have. Y'all better get your thought life in order, man. Get your thought life in order. Loving and unselfish thoughts crystallize into habits of forgetfulness for others, which solidify into circumstances of sure and abiding prosperity and true riches. A particular train of thought persisted in, whether it is good or bad, cannot fail to produce its results on the character and circumstances. I'm going to go back and read that again. Read that again. It says a particular train of thought persisted in, whether it is good or bad, cannot fail to produce its results on the character and circumstances. So you're working on you all the time. You are working on you all the time. Question is, are you working to build a positive you, or are you working to build a negative you? See, because without thinking about it, when you get frustrated, you say things with a tremendous amount of passion and excitement and energy and emotion. You're activating your subconscious mind every time you get upset. But when you're happy, unless you start doing this consciously, you don't tend to express your happiness and your joy with the same amount of exuberance as you do your frustrations. So your frustrations keep manifesting over and over and over again. So you activate your subconscious mind with emotion-filled commands and affirmation. Your subconscious mind is the lifeline between you and the creator. You and the universe are linked through your subconscious mind. Think about your subconscious mind as the umbilical cord to the universe. But unless you truly use emotion-filled commands, those commands never reach the universe. And for the most part, those positive commands don't reach the universe because people don't use emotion-filled commands in the positive. They do in the negative by default, because when you're crying, you're sobbing, you're going through something that's full of emotion. So you're talking to yourself full of emotion. But when you're happy and you're joyed up, you kind of don't express that stuff because we've been taught to be humble. We've been taught to not brag. We've been taught to, man, we just been twisted up and messed up, y'all. Be excited about your life. Be excited when you talk to yourself. When you speak those positive things, maybe you need to put your face in a pillow and you need to scream those things to the top of your lungs so that you make sure that they are full of emotion. And you got to say them and do this often. It says, because here's one thing that we do. We might have our little affirmations, but we say them one time. And Think and Grow Rich, the original, Napoleon Hill says you got to do that at least twice a day, right? Reach your affirmation. It says a particular train of thought persisted in cannot fail, whether it's good or bad. If that train of thought is persisted in, it didn't say if that train of thought happens once, it manifests. It didn't say if that train of thought happens once, it cannot fail. It says, no, the train of thought has to be persisted in, and at that point, it cannot fail. Or if we're talking scripture, the word says pray without ceasing. Yeah, it's all of these books are it's scriptural. You know, we like to say the universe when we're talking about God, but it's scriptural. It says pray without ceasing. What is a prayer? It's a conversation with you and God. And if you don't have the emotion in that prayer, it's not connecting to God, because that's the subconscious connection. God says, you don't believe that. Now, I'm paraphrasing and I'm speaking for God, which I clearly cannot do. But I have a sneaky suspicion based on the evidence in my life that when you pray without ceasing with no emotion, God saying, you don't believe that. You don't really want that. Or you pray with emotion and you pray that prayer one time. God said, okay, come on. Oh, you giving up on the prayer already? All right, you don't really want that. Just pray without ceasing. A train of thought persisted in cannot fail. In creating the circumstances or the character. Gotta pray without ceasing. So, of course, today's show is brought to you by the Generational Wealth Building Conference in Atlanta, Georgia, April 6th through the 8th. Go to wealth.joinhcorteznow.com if you're serious about getting your tickets for that event. Yeah, train of thought positive. Yeah, you got to train those thoughts to be positive, because a lot of us think on negative things and we think on that stuff over and over and over and over and over and over and over. That's a train of thought, whether good or bad, persisted in, cannot fail. Got to be careful with those trains of thoughts. If they're not good, they're not positive, you got to interrupt those things, kick them out, then replace them with positive thoughts. Today's show is also brought to you by the Black Wealth Movement and the Financial Freedom Fighters team. We're growing all over the country, guys. If you're not already a part of My Econ, the Black Wealth Movement, or the Financial Freedom Fighters team, let us show you what it's all about. Because we are going to rebuild our communities. We're starting with the individual first. We rebuild that individual, change their mindset about the way they think about wealth and money, power, economics, capitalism, so that they can then create financial windfalls in their lives. Then they teach that to their neighbors. Once the neighbors get it, then they lock arms with their neighbors, and then we go forward in the community and we start buying up everything. And we're going to turn our community around. We're going to start being in a position to offer jobs to our babies that pay well, so they don't have to sell drugs or sell their bodies or swing on the pole. Huh? What? Cortez, y'all really got a plan? Oh, yeah. We ain't playing. See, a lot of you guys think that the Black Wealth Movement and My Econ is just about network marketing. Nah, man. There's a revolution taking place right in front of your eyes, but you don't see it. Some people might say, because you ain't woke yet. I'm not going to go to that extent. I'm just going to say, for whatever reason, you don't see it. There's a revolution taking place. Soldiers are being armed right now. See, we ain't fighting the social wars, because the social wars are a distraction. The real war is economic. So till I talk to you next time, man, get your money up, because I don't want y'all to get me started on that. Get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, man. Each and every one of y'all. Peace out.